Welcome to AFA Highlights, brought to you by AFA Hub. This podcast is your window into the creative journeys of our talented students and alumni, featuring their remarkable work and inspiring stories. Each episode is packed with behind-the-scenes insights, engaging interviews, and expert advice, showcasing how our students transform their big ideas into even bigger opportunities. Whether you're an artist, a dreamer, a curious creative, or simply a supportive ally, we're thrilled to have you here. Think of this as your exclusive backstage pass to inspiration. So sit back, get ready, and join us as we celebrate the extraordinary together.
Hi, welcome back to AFA Highlights. I'm Shanna Forstall, your host for Season 1 of AFA Highlights, where we highlight the accomplishments of AFA students and alumni. Today, I'm really excited to welcome to the show one of our talented alumni. His name is Jordan Eastman. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Hello, welcome.
I'm so happy to have you on. Jordan has worked actually directly with me on some projects, and we're going to be talking about those today. But I wanted to start first just talking with Jordan about his AFA journey. So, Jordan, my first question for you is, how did you end up getting to AFA? What was the catalyst that got you to sign up for the program and do the thing?
My mom actually discovered AFA. She went to this conference that was down in like Cal Lutheran, and someone there, I think, was an alumni, and they were telling about their story with AFA. So she heard from that. I think at the time when she heard, it was still Actors for Autism, but when I joined, it shortened to AFA. So she found out about from that, and then, well, the thing is, like, it has to be like a raffle entry thing. So it's like usually you enter it and then they pick you. So she did that with me, and I got picked. So, and then after that, we like met people from there. And in January 2018, that's when I started for my first year.
Fantastic. And you've done, which programs have you taken at AFA?
I focused on animation.
Fantastic. And that's something that you've done for us. You've done illustration and animation. Now, tell me, what is it that you love about animation?
Well, I've been doing art stuff for a very long time, and I loved animation growing up. So since I was very, very little, I've always thought about, I want to maybe become an animator someday. And my dad's had experience, and we've known other people who've had experience in art animation. So I think it's just something that runs in the family. But yeah, like since childhood, I wanted to pursue like an art animation career. So doing this definitely helped me out with learning the basic principles of animating.
Fantastic. So you finished AFA, and then you got a PIP program, which some of that you were working with me and with my team, and I'm really excited. You did such a beautiful job. One of the products I wanted to talk about today was one that you did called Captain the Clam, because I think when we chatted earlier, you said that was one of your favorites. Tell me a little bit about your experience working on that one.
Well, this was like one of my recent ones for you guys. For a while, I was doing animation projects, but this one I was very interested in because, like, as you said, it was a storybook. So I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to do an illustration book because, like, for years I grew up on children's books and graphic novels, and that was like my first access to that kind of material. So I think this project was a perfect opportunity to practice that and show off my illustration style.
Yes, and you did a beautiful job. So for you guys who aren't familiar, I work with My Calm World, and we've been developing children's songs, stories, and meditations for the last few years. We have a YouTube channel and it's also, a lot of our work is also out on streaming if you want to check it out. But Captain the Clam in particular is one of my favorites because I actually wrote that when we were on an art residency in France with Jeff Gold, and I went to an art residency. And then while we were there, we met a Ukrainian artist who had been displaced, and he was staying in France at the time. He's in the US now, but he ended up voicing the captain for us. And the original idea of just the title came from him. He was telling me he had this idea of a captain and a clam, but it was for an adult story. And I said, there's something about that that's so cute. Do you mind if I turn that into a children's story? And he's like, no. So I ended up writing the story, and then we recorded it there. We did the voices there, recorded them in France, and then we came back, and we're going to release it as a long-form bedtime story because it's an audio story. Jeff's added some beautiful instrumental music to it. We've added sound effects, and it's really come alive. It has a world. But we thought, this is such a beautiful piece. Like, we'd love to have some images that could turn into eventually maybe a storybook, a printed storybook, and also images to go with the long-form audio. And so Jordan, we were about to finish up his PIP and we were like, Jordan, what do you think of this? And Jordan's work is so beautiful. I encourage you guys to check it out. We'll put links on here to it when it gets listed on YouTube, but check it out, Captain and the Clam. Jordan, you did some beautiful illustrative work, and I'd like to hear a little bit about your process with that work. Like, I know we talked about, a look and a feel. Tell me how the notes that we give you translates in your mind into what came out on the pad, on paper.
With any project, the most important thing is obviously figuring out how it should look. And when you gave me the prompt, the first thing is like, oh, how do I envision this in my mind? And as soon as you said it is about a captain, I definitely would imagine like, oh, make it like old fashioned, like period piece, or like anything that's like ocean themed. Anytime when I think of that, I immediately go back to like those old era like sailors or pirates, anything like that. And also anytime it's like anything out at sea, I want to be like ocean like as possible, like harbors or like Mediterranean almost.
Right. Well, you did a beautiful job. And like, what I love about the images is that they're captivating, like they're standalone. And to me, they're like artwork. Each one is artwork. And you've captured so much emotion in the characters that are in the story and things like that. Talk about that. How is that for you? Like, how do you imagine, like, some of the shots have multiple people in them? They have some of the crew, for example, listening to the captain and things like that. And you did a beautiful job of capturing different emotions and different feelings and different expressions. Tell me about how you come up with all of that.
Well, they all come from how I envision like how it would look like in a movie or another storybook. Like basically when I plan all these out, I think myself, oh, imagine you're doing storyboards. Once you draw it, like every one I did is like sketched out first. Every drawing I did was like a rough sketch. And then once I had an idea like, oh, how should the rest look, I like refine it further, like sketch it out in greater detail. And then once I've finalized that, I play around with it further and like experiment with like colors and like line thickness and like go from there. Like, and with expressions, I always just think about, oh, how would I feel in this situation? Like if the captain's angry, I think like, well, how would I feel if I'm in that situation? Like, is this based on how I'm feeling? Or at the same time, I look at other artwork and he's like, well, how does one draw this expression? So he's like, I just always look at lots of references for planning out all this stuff while also basing on how I imagine it.
Yeah, those are good notes. Well, you did a beautiful job. And if you guys, again, are looking for the work, go to My Calm World. They have a YouTube channel, and a lot of the work is also out on streaming. But My Calm World, the website or the YouTube channel are good places to find out what resources are out there. You'll see some of Jordan's other work as well. And then soon you'll be seeing Captain and the Clam. Jordan, I have one more question. If you've been doing this for a while now, you have some experience. If you had some advice for some other student who might be thinking about coming to AFA or thinking about developing their animation illustration skills or something like that, what would you say to them?
From my experience and from other people's experience, my one word is like, don't be overconfident because like I've seen some people who are like, oh, I'm going to be an artist right away. And my advice is that's not true. It takes time. You got to learn. Like even when I joined, even though with my experience, because I've had experience long before AFA, I went to like art school and I've been drawing for like 10, 15 years. So, and some people I met at AFA are like first time artists or actors. So you're not going to be perfect at day one. It takes time to learn. And sometimes some people get impatient. So that's something like you should not have the right mindset and you should be patient and know, all right, I'm not going to be perfect. I know this is going to be difficult. And even with me, I had like with experience, I was not 100% perfect as soon as I started. Like it took 2 years of doing this to be perfect at what I'm right now. And even then, when I graduated AFA in early 2020, even then I was like, I still need more to learn. Like even doing the stuff with you and Jeff, I think I started to learn more and get better at animating because now I'm like, all right, I'm in a mindset where I gotta really focus and give my best effort. Whereas when I was in AFA, I was still learning the ropes and figuring out how everything worked. Basically, I say anyone who's joining, like just tell them you are going to learn. You may not do well at first, but with hard work and practice, you'll get there. And eventually you'll get to be what you want, maybe even better.
That's great advice, Jordan. That's great advice. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's so good to hear from you, and I'm so proud of you. Like, we saw so much development in your work in the time that you were with us, and I encourage everyone to check out Jordan's work. He's a very, very talented illustrator and animator. He creates some really wonderful things, and you'll see them again on the My Calm World YouTube and website. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for another episode of AFA Highlights, where we feature and celebrate the work of AFA students and alumni. And our guest today, Jordan Eastman, be sure to check out his work. Thank you, Jordan, for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Be sure you come back. We'll have more episodes featuring other students and alumni. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of AFA Highlights. We hope today's stories brightened your day and inspired you to connect more closely with AFA Hub. Every time you listen, like, follow, or subscribe to our student projects, you're helping to pave the way for their future success. If you're ready to unleash your creativity, remember that AFA Hub dives deep into the exciting worlds of animation, film, game design, and visual effects. We're more than a school. We're a launch pad for passionate creators ready to shape the future. With hands-on learning, live classes, and a supportive online community, AFA Hub turns raw talent into rewarding careers. Visit our website to learn more. Share this episode with someone who would enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get notified about new episodes. We'll be back soon with a new episode. Thank you for listening.